I mean, for me, it wasn't a big issue. You know, like I had already built a financial infrastructure way outside of WWE that was awesome. I had already
something I hear I always talk about is business.
Yeah.
I try to tell these young people about business, financial.
Well, it's hard to be emotional about things when you understand, like I said, the economics of it and the business of it, and where the money can be made. And I knew leaving any company in this industry that I had options. I could take care of myself. I was self-sufficient in this industry. I had enough talent. I believed in myself and ability, and wherewithal to deal with people that I knew making money wasn't my issue. Just finding the right place to do it in is always the issue. And that really what it is. I think a lot of emotional devastation that maybe a superstar will feel being released, I can understand it, but it's completely pointless and useless.
Hold on. You just said something, and I want to words or everything. The devastation that a superstar would feel, but a pro wrestler.
It's different. It's different, and it is. Because many people they've worked all their entire lives for this one single goal. Right. My goal was to be involved in this business. When I first got started, Jim Ross told me in my face, "You will never work in WWE." And that wasn't malicious. It wasn't a malicious thing. It was just saying, "Hey, listen, this is what we're looking for. You are not it." And it was one of the most liberating statements that was ever spoken to me, because then it uncoupled me from sitting there and going, I got to be at every WWE house show loop that comes through the West Coast, and I got to be there, and I got to shake the hands, and I got to do. And instead, I said, listen, obviously, this is the head. They told me I ain't gonna make it here, so now all my focus shifts to everywhere else I can make money. And I concentrated my efforts and everything on those spaces. And those spaces grew because of the effort that I put into them. And those spaces got better and they got more lucrative when we made more money. And because of that, well, now when I go to WWE and now when I finally started dealing with WWE, I did not do it from a position of weakness. I did it from a position of stability and from power and mutual respect. And because of that, even though my time in WWE may have been cut short, it was a wonderful relationship because they respected me. They respected me financially. They respected me as a performer because I had become a proven commodity that had actual numbers behind them, that they were not inflated or created by somebody else or by a greater entity.
You were/are a businessman.
Well, and that's really the crux of this always is that, you really got to understand the business aspect of this if you want to be successful in it at all. Because until you understand the business aspect, there's always going to be a businessman ready to understand it for you.
Oh, bars. Joe got the coldest bars, man. Bars.
So I mean, you gotta ask yourself, whose future, who do you want to have control over your future, you or that person who's going to interpret your future for you? So, like I said, a calculator is probably one of the greatest tools any entertainer, let alone professional wrestler, could ever possess.